welcome back to my channel. It's Nasdaq with Ashia, back with another video today, and today's video is about Bitcoin could go to 5 times, says Cathie Wood. So before I begin, I want to say I'm not a financial advisor and you should always do your own due diligence and research before taking part in any investment scheme. Let's get into it. So there are a number of reasons why Cathie Wood thinks Bitcoin could blow up. So Cathie Wood thinks Bitcoin could reach 500,000. Is she right? So, considering her track record, she's mostly right. So, let's see why. Back in November 2020, Wood argued that the number of catalysts were supporting Bitcoin's growth. She called it the reserve currency of the digital ecosystem and essentially said it was a crypto equivalent of the dollar. Well, get this, she's right. She's becoming more and more right, more and more correct on her theory, because El Salvador becomes the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. And everybody knows, unless you're living under a rock, you probably heard this. Everybody knows it. So Wood also noted that central bank distributed currencies like countries like China and the US are beginning to create a bullish for Bitcoin and other crypto coins. They will help legitimize cryptocurrencies by giving the idea behind them a government stamp of approval and by highlighting the advantages of cryptocurrencies in general. The ARC chief also pointed out to the increasing institutional embrace for Bitcoin, said that if institutions were to allocate around 5% of the funds to Bitcoin, the way they have with asset classes like real estate or emerging markets, that will lift the price to 400,000 to 500,000. Well, I think she's right. She will mostly be right, because back in 2018, Wood slapped a split-adjusted 800 price target on Tesla, which seemed ridiculous at first, as it called for the stock to increase by more than 1,000%. However, Tesla eclipsed that price last year, making Wood look prophetic. And she really does that all the time. Considering her track record, she's almost always correct, and that's how she's able to build such a good ARK Invest hedge fund empire. Okay, secondly, so El Salvador has recently, how do I say this? So El Salvador's president has instructed the president of state-owned geothermal electric company La GeoSV to put out a plan to offer facilities for Bitcoin mining with very cheap, 100% clean, 100% renewable, zero emissions energy from volcanoes? And he's like, this is going to evolve fast. It sounds a lot like a sci-fi movie. I will mine Bitcoin from my volcano! Sorry, anyway. So 1 Bitcoin is currently 32,162 United States dollar, and they are planning on mining Bitcoin on top of a volcano. Like, sounds very, very sci-fi like, but let's read on. So El Salvador sets Bitcoin as its primary currency, and volcanoes to power Bitcoin mining in El Salvador. The first nation to make Bitcoin legal tender will use a geothermal energy to mine it. Let's see, why are they doing this? So, in June 2021, El Salvador became the first nation to make Bitcoin legal tender. Soon after, President Nayib Bukele instructed a state-owned power company to provide Bitcoin mining facilities with cheap, clean energy from volcanoes. The challenge? Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, a digital form of money and a payment system. Crypto has several advantages over physical dollars and cents. It's incredibly difficult to counterfeit, and transactions are more secure, but also has a major downside. Crypto transactions are recorded and new coins are added into circulation through a process called mining. It's very energy intensive, and researchers estimate that Bitcoin mining alone consumes more electricity every year than the entire Argentina. So Cathie Wood's philosophy back here is coming true. They're starting to adopt Bitcoin. They're finding ways to adopt it. Like, they really want to adopt it without hurting the environment too. So that just shows how badly they want Bitcoin to be their currency. And even with all this inflation fears, like in the United States also, they are pumping money, they're printing money to stimulate the economy, but it's like causing inflation and then reducing the value of the dollar. So this is just valid. What Cathie Wood is saying looks more and more valid as we go. Next. So a world first. On June 9th, El Salvador made the first nation, meaning to accept Bitcoin, meaning businesses have to accept it as payment and citizens can use it to pay taxes? Jeez. And they're using geothermal energy, and how this works is it's produced by capturing heat from the earth itself. In El Salvador, that heat comes from the volcanoes, and estimated 2/3 of the energy potential is currently untapped. So this could be like a really big thing. And get this, ever since that was announced, like before that was announced, people looking for real estate was like this, dun, 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 low, slow, not very great. After this was announced, suddenly everyone wants real estate because volcano technology. Another thing is that Paul Tudor Jones, most famous billionaire trader, could go all in on inflation trades, and he wants 5% of Bitcoin allocation. So hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones told CNBC on Monday he would go all in on the inflation trades if the U.S. Federal Reserve remains indifferent to rising consumer prices. If they treat them with nonchalance, I think it's just a green light to bet heavily on every inflation trade, Jones said during a CNBC Squawk Box interview, referring to economic indicators. If they say we're on the path, things are good, then I will just go all in on the inflation trades, Jones said. Now get this. I'd probably buy commodities, buy crypto, buy gold, he says that. Jones says, wait for it, he likes Bitcoin and sees it as a great way to protect wealth over the long run. He holds it in his portfolio, comparing it to gold. Oh my gosh. So even as if Bitcoin has crashed, Cathie Wood has reaffirmed her price. She reaffirmed her price target for Bitcoin. And she really, really believes in it. And we can see that all of these famous people believe in it. Despite it crashing, they believe it's going to go good. Get this, even Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway invested in a Bitcoin-friendly digital bank. That says a lot. Berkshire Hathaway invested in a pro-Bitcoin digital bank. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway Inc. has invested $500 million in the parent company of Nubank, a Brazil-based Bitcoin-friendly digital bank, the South American company announced Tuesday. This is part of the bank's Series G funding round, which began in January. The bank said it also raised $250 million from other investors. So in summary, all of these famous financially successful investors, and even the prime minister of our first adopting country, he adopted cryptocurrency on volcanoes. He's going to do it on volcanoes, and all of this just says how valuable Bitcoin is going to be in the future. And that in itself is just crazy. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. One more thing, remember, Bitcoin's gonna be big.